Doc said, the kid will be dead in a week. He'd be dead well before that. And Dad said, well, don't you need my permission to amputate?
I want to welcome you back again for another story answering the question, is God active? Today, I'm here with Marvin Johnstone. And he has a story that happened when he was a young boy. And you're going to want to hold on for this one.
Luke, thanks for this opportunity. I'd like to tell you this one about when I was 5 years old. I had just had my lunch. Dad said, if you want to come to town with me, you better hop in the truck because I know you're going to fall asleep right after lunch.
Okay. So
I went and got in the old farm truck, a 3-ton truck with dual wheels on the back, a big one. And I fell asleep, leaning against the door. It was comfy. And at some time we left. We were heading, I believe, to town, gravel road, bumping along. And just when we were turning a corner where there was quite a high bank on the side, that door jiggled open and I fell out. I apparently fell under. I went from I was asleep and I'm not aware of any impact, but my dad waited until he felt the bump and then he hit the brakes because he didn't want to create Okay. Then after he felt the bump, stopped the truck, went back there and picked up what he thought was a dead son. He scooped me up, set me laid out in the front seat of the truck. We went back half mile back to the house. He was splashing a little bit of water on a rag. I guess he didn't want to, for the mortician to have a dirty, dust-covered child to look after. And then I started moving. And so then he put me back in the truck. I was in the house. Came to for a moment.
So he thought you were dead.
He thought I was dead. He was a wreck.
Oh.
He could never tell the story for the first 3 or 4 years. Okay. Anyway, he scooped me up. We headed off to the Armstrong Hospital. I came to once more when being transported into the hospital and then woke up when I was in the hospital bed and the nurse in white, the traditional, the way it goes after a person has had the leg set and all of this. But it involved my right leg. And I remember the things that I had heard from adults. Luke, remember when they say to you, you'll be better in no time. You'll feel better in no time. Don't worry about that little cut. It'll stop bleeding and tomorrow you'll be just fine. And I determined that I was not going to let anyone down. So as soon as I got home, I began putting a bit of weight on that leg because I was going to surprise everyone how quickly I was going to be healed up and walking. Why I was going to be able to show them when they were least expecting it. I was just going to go and walk across the room and astonish them all. And they would say, oh, yes, we were right. Kids heal up really, really fast. That went on for about 2 weeks. And the bottom part of the cast was pretty mushed up because it was not a walking cast. And then there was a bad odor that was coming from in that leg area. Very bad odor. Meat was spoiling. I was taken back to the hospital. Cast was taken off. And on the first set of rounds, like the old country doctor there would have some doctors come in from Vernon 2 times a week, and they would do rounds with him. second and third opinions on each one of his cases in the hospital. They took a look at it, and the doctors together had a little conference right by my bed, and they said a word that I thought sounded really, really neat, but I did not know what it meant. But I know now, and I found out afterwards, that word is amputate. And I don't know how I said it as a 5-year-old who didn't understand the word. I just knew it was something special. And so when my parents came in to see me the next morning, which was on a Friday morning, I mentioned that to my parents, and my mother started crying, and my dad got all red in the face. So apparently there was something bad about that word, something not to be celebrated. And my dad went to get the doctor, had the conversation with him, and he said, would you leave that leg on for a week, and we'll see how it does? Doc said, the kid will be dead in a week. He'd be dead well before that. And Dad said, well, don't you need my permission to amputate? And Doc said, well, either that or a court order. Dad said, great. It's just about noon. You're not going to get a hold of a judge until Monday. So we've got till Monday. And you can take a look at it then and just see if it has improved, or if not, we'll give our permission for that leg to be amputated. Now, the church, community, the school, and its community attached to it also. I had regular visitors, 2 nuns that came and visited me twice a day so faithfully, prayed over me every day. Everyone was petitioning God on my behalf. I couldn't believe that suddenly I was the center of something. I was just the youngest of 6 that was supposed to be seen but not heard. Well, Monday comes along. The doctor takes a look at it. He says there's somewhat of an improvement here. He was really surprised to see that. And when the team of doctors came from Vernon to do rounds with him, they were quite astonished also, because things had improved quite a little bit. That had quite an impression on me, because for the first time, I felt that God had done something special just for me. Didn't fully understand it at that point. I felt that I was an individual in the family, not just the youngest of 6. I felt a part of that church community because they had invested prayers and best wishes and everything that comes with that. And I thank God for that leg that has served me very, very well this whole time, granting me that miracle that leg did not need to be amputated. Can't imagine what it would be like to have a piece of wood there instead of a leg.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite the story, Marv. Wow. Wow. And I saw the scar. So there's a text in the Bible, and it comes out of Psalms 34, verse 7. Psalms 34, verse 7, and this is what the Bible says. It says, "For the angel of the Lord is a guard." Now there's different versions, but this one's New Living. "The angel of the Lord is a guard, and he surrounds and defends all who fear him." So in this story, as Marv is sharing, he's just this little boy that's like, does anybody care about me? I'm just a little number, just trying to get along here. But there's this, every night there's a kind of a guard that goes around and checks up every few days, comes and checks on him and sees him. And we have this protection that God puts around us. It's like a protection, a circle that goes around us. And you might be feeling just kind of put off to the side. maybe abandoned, maybe just left on your own, wondering, does anybody care about me and my life? Because Marv was just a 5-year-old boy. That community that came around Marv, you might not have that community. You might feel completely alone, but you need to know that God sends angels to be that community for you. And that He is protecting and putting a hedge around you, but He wants you to reach out and trust Him. So I want to invite you, trust your life to God today. And then join us next week as we continue answering the question, is God active? Thanks for watching today. If you have challenges in your life or worried about your future, I want to invite you to take time to pray. Well, what does that really look like? It's as simple as talking to a friend. And who of us don't have friends that we like to talk to? God cares about the things you're facing in your life right now. Take them to Him. Remember, we're also praying for you. See you next week.